Welcome to KX News on the Go. I'm Chance Thicklin. People in one town are going to keep paying on a sales tax after it was recently put to a recent vote. The now continued 1% sales tax will now be in use indefinitely, but is still being used to cover the cost of operating things that go into Williston Parks and Recreation District. The tax, which first passed in 2012, has already been used to pay for the payback of bonds issued by the district for things like facilities, improvements, land, structures, equipment, and rights of way. Executive Director Joe Barsh says this indefinite extension means they can look past their current projects and start planning for the future.
The indefinite extension allows us the flexibility to continue to operate while also the leverage to protect the district long-term by virtue of an indefinite funding revenue as strong as a sales tax, and to continue to buy down interest.
More than 1,100 people voted for the sales tax extension in Williston, with 252 people voting against it. A building project is happening at Bismarck State College that will make more room for more students. Workers are renovating space inside the Health Sciences building on campus to turn it into living quarters for more than 50 students. Right now, the building is used by young men and women who are studying careers in healthcare, including future nurses and paramedics. The project is being paid thanks for recent funding approved by the state legislature. BSC Vice President for Student Affairs Kaylin Body says the new rooms are expected to be ready by August.
And so having students have the ability to not only live next door to where they're taking classes, how beneficial will it be to take part in health science, programs and live right there, to live and learn in those same spaces? What a convenience for our students, and really creating this east side pillar of our campus for students to be here 24/7.
Bondi says students will move into campus from August 21st through the 24th. Classes start on BSC again on August 25th. Traffic expected to ease up around the Dakota Square Mall in the coming days following weeks of road construction. The northeast entrance and exit roads are now open to shoppers once again. The entrance, which sits between Best Buy and Wings and Rings, has been rebuilt and repaved as part of the Puppy Dog Coulee project in Minot. Local business owners who have been affected by the construction are hoping to see more customers coming in now that the roads are open once again.
It's always been like a pretty steady place here, and then like when the construction did start, it slowed down quite a bit. It took a big hit. Hopefully it starts to like pick up again, and people will start seeing like, oh, there's no more construction over there. We should stop over,
Temporary stop signs and barriers are in place to mark the lanes on the road for the time being. Permanent road markings are expected to be installed in the near future. Here's Andre now with a quick check of your forecast.
Well, thank you, Chance. And looking here at our current KXCam network, we are continuing to see those very beautiful sunny conditions here in Bismarck and in Minot, with temperatures at 56 and 55 degrees respectively. But looking here in Dickinson and Williston, look at the sunshine there in Williston, folks, and temperatures are at 55 degrees there and 53 there in Dickinson. Now, as far as our current storm team radar is concerned, we are seeing those very beautiful conditions this morning with a few fair weather clouds in our northern portions of our viewing area. And if you want to go outside right now, go ahead and go outside, folks, and take a good advantage of it. Now, looking at our current temperatures, our temperatures right now are mainly in the 50s and even a few 60s in our south and eastern areas. So it is relatively warm outside nonetheless, and it's because of our southeasterly flow. And throughout the day today, we're going to continue to see these temperatures increase into the mid to upper 80s, and even some low 90s are quite possible too in our south and our western counties. So that's really something to keep in mind. And on top of that, that's going to allow for us to see some thunderstorm chances developing throughout the afternoon and evening hours. And this could come in the form of some strong to severe storms with a level 1 marginal chance of severe weather into our western 2/3 of the area and into our northeastern portions. That is where we're going to be seeing a slight chance of severe weather. So this means that we could see some damaging winds and hail and locally heavy rainfall in any storm that does develop. Now, this is our precision cast. This is 2 o'clock this afternoon, and this is where we are seeing those thunderstorms potentially developing around the Magic City here, but once we get into around 4 o'clock, it's going to be moving its way towards the south and the east, and by the time we get into our 6 o'clock, we will be seeing that thunderstorm potentially developing there in Dickinson, so that's something to pay close attention to. But by the time we get into our 7 and 8 o'clock, that is where it's going to be traversing the I-94 corridor and potentially into the Bismarck area, so that's something to really watch out for. A little bit similar to what we saw yesterday, and as we head into about 8, 9, and 10 o'clock, it's going to be moving its way towards the south and east and maybe forming into a line segment, so that's something to keep in mind too. And as we head into about 10 and 11 o'clock, that is where those conditions will start to improve. However, once we get into our Friday, round whatever, with another chance of seeing some strong to severe storms with a slight chance of severe weather, and this means that we could see some damaging winds and also some hail and locally heavy rainfall, and an isolated tornado is quite possible as well in this situation. So again, we will be watching this very closely, so have that KX Storm Team app on hand. And once we get into our Saturday here, we will see a level 1 marginal risk exist, and this is where we can see that damaging wind and hail potential once again, and along with that locally heavy rainfall. Now here in Williston, we will see those temperatures drop down over the weekend and into early next week, with temperatures in the 60s by the time into the day on Sunday and Monday. And with summer starting on Friday, we're going to be saying what summer. And once we get into Dickinson, we're going to continue to see those temperatures drop down too into the later portions of the weekend and it's early next week due to a cold front that's going to be pushing on in. And as far as the Magic City is concerned, we're going to see those temperatures continuing to drop each and every day into the 60s by the time we get into Sunday, Monday, and then we're going to see those temperatures drop down, increase, however, once we get into mid next week, with temperatures nearing 70 for our Wednesday. And that same thing here goes for the capital city too. So chance we'll be watching those thunderstorms over the next few days, so make sure you have that KX Storm Team app on hand.
That is a good suggestion, Andre. Thank you. Well, for everyone here at KX News, I'm Chance Dicklin. Have a great day.